Hello and welcome to the Missed Q. I'm your host, Ricky, and with me is my co-host,
Jackie.
And together,
we are
the Missed Q. Today, we have Jim Lusk. Now, Jim Lusk has been doing theater here in town for about 9 years. He's a Civil War reenactor, world-renowned Civil War reenactor. How are you, Jim?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You look wonderful. I love the mustache. I love what you're doing there. Have you heard about this podcast before?
I have. I've seen some.
Okay.
Very entertaining.
We like to showcase some of the talent here locally, and I think that you're a very talented actor, so I want to have you on.
Well, thank you.
Let's talk about just your history here as a local actor. Your first show was 2015. Actually, let me get the list. Let me ask my producer, Nolan. Thank you, sir.
Good job.
Thank you. So we got the list here, and you checked off some of the shows you've done with Grace Arts. Excuse me.
Is that Jack's list?
This is Jack's list. Shout out to Jack Weldon. Where would we be without his list? Honestly, it's been a character in itself.
You'd be listless.
Listless.
Oh, listless.
Okay, so your first show we know was 2015, Beauty and the Beast.
Correct.
And I remember seeing that show, and I didn't realize that you were the grandfather of one of the young actors at that time and the father to one of the other actresses. I didn't realize at the time that you had family in the theater already. I was amazed by your performance, and it was one of those things where it's like, where has this guy been the whole time?
Well, that's very sweet. He was backstage praying that the curtain wouldn't go up.
Yeah, so you said it was their fault that you got involved. So
Yeah.
how did they rope you in?
Yeah.
Well, Julie's a ballet dancer, and Grace found out that she was a ballet dancer, but that's all she did. But Grace thought she maybe could transition to other styles of dancing, and so she became a tap dancer and was in shows with you back in the early 2000s.
Yep.
Then the kids got involved, and we'd go and watch them. And actually, Marilyn and I were back in New York for the summer, and Julie said, "Hey, there's auditions. Why don't you try out?" I said, "Well, other than being 2,200 miles away, I can't see a reason." So she said, "Well, just go ahead and record something." So we went to a room in the house, and Marilyn got out her phone, and I sang a cappella, a song that I'd sung years ago, and sent it to Julie, who gave it to Grace. And the next thing you know, I'm the father.
You're Maurice in Beauty and the Beast.
I was Maurice, riding around in that half-a-mile-an-hour speed wagon.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was great. I was impressed.
Well, I was impressed by everybody else around me. I mean, there was some nice talent in that show, and that was helpful to me, obviously, because I was scared to death, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Never, ever having done anything like that before.
So you had never been on stage in a performance setting like that?
Supposedly, I was in some show, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, in college. I don't remember a thing about it, though.
Okay.
And it was definitely not a big part.
Interesting. Okay. So that very, very long in between.
Yeah.
The first show that you and I did together.
Yes, I remember that well.
So your introduction to theater, I was not a part of, which is probably for the best.
I mean, yeah. It's for the best.
But My Fair Lady was an amazing experience, at least for me.
Yeah. When do I interject a story about him?
Oh, right now.
Right now is a good time?
Is it from My Fair Lady?
It is.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
And he
I
knows
was supposed to ask you about the My Fair Lady story. Uh-huh. Yes, please tell me the My Fair Lady story.
You must know what I'm going to say.
I do.
Yes, you do. You still want me to say it?
Yeah, it's fine. But before you do, I do want to say.
Oh, I'm going to try to
Just
blanket
a disclaimer here. I will try to blanket it. I feel like it's one of the worst things that I've ever done to a fellow actor. It was very out of character for me, and I don't know why on earth I did that.
Okay,
Go
please
ahead.
tell the story. I need to hear this.
You don't know the story?
I don't know the story.
Okay. Again, this is my second show.
Okay.
Okay.
All
and
right.
the parts were vastly different. My Fair Lady was a much bigger part.
Yeah,
More-
he played Pickering.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
First attempt at an accent. Okay. The opening scene, Ricky and I in our tuxedos and so forth.
I was Higgins, just for reference to the listener.
We're way in the back of the stage with some other people who, when the opening dance number by the poor people around the theater, outside the theater, were done, we stepped forward, and I was to call for a taxi and so forth. So we're standing there before the curtain goes up, and I look over at Ricky, and he doesn't have his top hat. And I said, Ricky, your top hat. He goes, oh my gosh, and he runs off stage and comes back in time with his top hat.
Thank goodness for you.
That was probably opening night or close to it.
Saved me.
So it wasn't the next night. I think it was the next weekend. I show up ready for the stage curtain to go up, and I had forgotten my top hat. And the curtain goes up, and we go on with the scene. And when we finally leave the stage, I said, why didn't you tell me I didn't have my hat? And he just laughed.
Because I knew that, and I had time to warn him, just like he had done for me the weekend before.
Ricky!
And that's when I fell in love with him.
You just knew.
Oh, man.
Oh, Ricky, that's not good.
Yeah, obviously, it,
I mean,
I don't know. I have no good excuse.
because you
for that.
clearly sat in that moment and went, I could tell him.
I could tell him right now, but I'm going to let him just
Melt.
die out.
Because we knew that Grace would never say anything to me about not having a
Right.
major prob.
Right. Never.
Never.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Ricky.
I know. I
Well,
know.
thank goodness you still did shows after that. I would have
Yeah.
been done.
Well, we had a lot together in that show.
Oh, yeah, we
Gosh,
did.
we really did.
Absolutely did. Mm-hmm. That was more of a baptism of really what it's like to be out there for a long time. That was a much bigger eye-opener than Maurice's part was.
Yeah. It's just Pickering is such a big part. It's incredible.
Not nearly what yours was.
Yeah, but in that kind of setting, for me, it's about, who you have on stage with you. And even though you were pretty fresh to the stage, you were still very reliable. And you did your homework. So, I mean, you knew all of the lines plus my lines, which that show was very dialogue heavy. So,
Boy, it is.
but you were always on top of it. So I always felt safe with you.
Did you really?
I
Because
did.
I've said that to my wife, Marilyn. When you're on stage with some of these guys like you, you just feel if you drop a line, they're going to save you. And I did drop lines in that show, and you did save me.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think that's the best feeling is being on stage and knowing that the people around you have your back.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, you're always so fun to work with because you also know how to keep it light and fun.
Well, it is fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
But you have had some other acting experience a little bit other than the stage. I understand you've done some Civil War reenacting.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I think that's true. Many for 30 years, but more important was our living histories and going into schools to do that. I've been in the elementary schools, junior high, and at the high school, several years at the high school.
Like doing the reenactments?
Not doing reenactments, just talking about Civil War history and explaining both sides of the war.
Right. So it's a subject you loved and care deeply about and find extremely interesting.
Yeah, well, I had all kinds of relatives that fought in the war.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the South, but
So what is it like doing a reenactment though? Like, is it a full scale, like outdoors?
yeah, we slept on the ground. We carried a blanket roll
How long does this go on for?
from the time you were able to get there on Friday, or if it's a major, like 150th anniversary, 125th anniversary events, which I was able to do. You got there early enough because it took 2 or 3 hours to get through registration before you could find your campsite. And there might be 15,000 reenactors there, plus women and kids dressed in period clothes. Oh yeah, when we did the 135th Gettysburg, they had a permit to allow 20,000 people, reenactors, to be on the property. And there were so many more than that, they just stopped counting when they got there.
Wow.
Wow.
It was the largest city in the county.
I didn't realize so many people do that stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's
Well, I think that's
huge
because
back
you're
there.
not from back east.
Yeah.
I feel like it is very huge back east. I mean, I grew up going to watch them and I knew so many people that did them. I feel like you would really enjoy actually watching one.
Well, our mutual birthplace, which is amazing,
Where's that?
Elmira,
Elmira,
New York.
You both were born in Elmira, New
We
York.
were.
Yeah. He asked where he said something about New York, and I said, "Oh, I'm from New York." Before we got started, and I said Elmira. Usually, I say Elmira, and people are like, "Cool," and then I like pick other bigger cities to like try to direct them where it is. And he's like, "Yeah, no, I was born in the hospital by the river." And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes."
Well, Elmira had a huge prison because the railroad came through Elmira, and there were many, well, you can read all about it. There's all kinds of books about it. It was one of the highest death rates of any of the northern camps for prisoners. Yeah, it was,
Wow.
it was bad. Because, well, we don't want to spend all our time in the war. But
No. But you get into a character. Do you pick your own character? Do you base your character off of an actual person?
Okay, normally, no. You compile your own character. What county of what state?
Oh my
you're
gosh!
from.
So this is like a big role playing game.
Yeah,
Almost.
it's like huge character
But it's
development.
but it's a tribute to a major
When
historical event.
for the 125th anniversary of the surrender, we had enough men in our unit that we all were assigned an actual person who surrendered. You know, you start out with
Oh, wow.
You start out with 900 soldiers and officers, and our Georgia unit surrendered with 55.
So do you wish you would have started sooner
Ooh.
at Grace Arts Live?
Oh, absolutely.
What
Gotta
shows
love
did you
the
see?
people there. Gotta love the people there.
What shows did you see at Grace Arts before you even got involved? I'm sure you saw your family.
Well, yeah, over at the high school. We went to several shows over there when
Okay.
we just thought of it as a great activity, and then Julie, got involved, and so we went to see that. And then once the grandkids got involved, then you had to go. It was
Yeah,
requirement,
of course. It's a
part of the grandparent package.
yeah.
One of those things you do.
Okay.
That's correct.
So your wife also has worked the ticket booth, so she's gotten involved.
Yeah, she volunteers on Thursdays.
I think that's the other thing that people forget is how many people behind the scenes are doing things. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes people think, oh, the people doing lights, but I mean, the people that do tickets is like, that's a huge
Tickets,
piece.
ushers,
Yeah.
concessions. There's so many working parts.
Crazy.
But yeah,
Crazy.
wow. So she posts up 3 to 6 at the theater every Thursday.
Well-
Go see Marilyn and buy some theater tickets. Yeah, I wasn't sure if she was still doing that or not.
Yep, she is.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I usually have this on silent. It's Jack Weldon.
Jack Welch.
Of course,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Jack Weldon.
Let me put him on speaker. Hello? Jack?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm actually in the middle of recording an episode with Jim Lusk right now.
Oh, Jim Lusk.
Yeah, you know
There?
Jim.
In your.
He's here right now, yeah. Yeah.
I'm coming over.
You're
Oh.
oh gosh.
No,
Okay.
no, no,
No,
no.
no.
Right.
Hold on.
Okay, no.
You know him.
No, and-
Okay, we need to wrap this up pretty quick.
Okay, yeah,
Hold
we
on.
need to be done.
Jack will be here in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm checking the list here, and you did Oliver. You played Fagin and Oliver, and I just want to see what show that was. Let's see. You did Beauty and the Beast, My Fair Lady, and then Oliver. So Oliver,
Number 3.
No, wait.
Probably was.
Did you do it twice?
Oh.
Okay, that was your third show then, and you played Fagin.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do that with you that first time because Lauren played the character Nancy.
Nancy.
Lauren
was
played
like,
Nancy. Sorry. Wow. Yeah, she played Nancy, and Allie played at the time that I did that show with
Oh.
you. Wow.
So you did Oliver twice.
Well,
Were you the same character both times?
Oh man, that was super quick.
that can't be.
Come in.
Oh,
Oh.
well, then why did you answer the
Jack.
phone?
I'm so sorry.
This is why we
Okay.
put our phones
Hi.
on silent.
By all
I
means.
guess have a seat.
Out.
Okay.
Jeez.
Hi.
Okay. Wow.
That's for you, I guess.
Go ahead.
He heard the word Oliver.
And he knew.
It's like he got a
gotta
little
come.
tingle.
Are you still recording?
We're
Yeah,
still
we're
recording.
still in the middle of
you
the
can throw on those
podcast.
headphones right next to you. Yeah.
I mean, since you're here.
Move that mic closer to you. Let me get a water. Mr. Producer, can we get an extra water? Okay, perfect.
Why don't
Thank
you
you.
just crash my
I know.
starring
He can't just let you have your own episode.
I know it.
No. Anyway, we were actually just
Oliver.
talking about Oliver. Yeah.
All three of you have been in Oliver, right?
I had to deal
Yeah.
with both of these Bill Sykeses.
Yeah, and actually, these two went toe to toe for Fagin because Jack had played it before, and
Well, in my mind, I was toe to toe with him. I don't think I was ever
It wasn't all that nice
toe
about
to
it.
toe.
you just killed your callback for Sourberry. No, Jim's played it twice. Well, Fagin's a great character.
Oh, it is.
But here's the bottom line. I think it's supposed to be an old man. So once they had a talented old man come through, they were like, oh,
We don't need Jack.
well,
Yeah.
age before beauty, I guess. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That was my
Did you say beauty?
Oh, gosh.
And you were
Here we go.
referring
Yeah, apparently.
third show that I did.
Your third show was Fagin and Oliver, and his third show was Fagin and Oliver. What's happening right now?
My gosh.
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
I feel like all that's left is for Ricky to play Fagin now.
Well, not if Jim has anything to say about it.
I don't think there's any more characters for me to be.
No, you're out.
Try to pull off Nancy.
Oh my gosh. So Jack, you can stay, but you need to let us focus on Jim, okay?
did we put that up for a vote?
I know.
Oh.
We didn't have a say.
Sorry.
I didn't get a vote.
I'm so sorry.
So Ricky does this sometimes. He just makes the decision.
I do.
I'd
I made the
probably-
decision to do this episode last minute.
Now, don't we always focus on Jim?
That's true.
I mean, usually.
That's true. I'm sick of it. He hasn't done a show in a little while.
Ever since he's done the show
mean-
with me, the focus has been on him.
Wow.
Is the focus ever
Wow.
on you, Jack? Is it ever on you?
I have
No.
nothing to say to you, Jay.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay.
man.
There's
Except
some
when it's a
animosity here.
miscue, and then the focus is all over.
Well, because
Right.
the missed cue is where you succeed.
That is my strong point.
I know.
Wow.
I'll accept
okay.
Not peak until Tech Week. Yeah.
I've heard that from
No one
someone
likes
really
Craig Stewart.
important.
Yeah.
No names mentioned.
Oh gosh, next question. Let me go quick here. So one of the things that I find interesting about you is when you do a mic check. I always find your mic checks informative. You always drop some facts. What was the last show we did together? It was, A Christmas Carol. When we did that, you played Scrooge. For his mic check, he would always share facts about Charles Dickens.
I love that.
Or the story or whatever
Yeah.
show we're doing. I kind of got in trouble for that once, but
For educating? Wow. I think Jim's just self-sabotaging and wants to
Right.
quit. Quit asking me to do shows. He sent in one tape 9 years ago and they won't leave him alone.
well, so many talented people that deserve the parts. So
Well, I mean, gosh, Fagin was your third show. What was your fourth show?
I have no idea.
You started taking parts from kids and kids shows at one point.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You played Grandpa Joe, didn't you, in Willy Wonka Jr.?
Yeah, I got a call Friday before the show opened saying it was Alex had lost someone in his family, and he couldn't be in the show because of the
Oh, wow.
the death in his family.
Oh, man.
And I think Mel called me from rehearsal. And I said, when is the show open? Next Friday. I go, oh, man, you know how long it takes me to learn lines? But
Apparently, a week
that was
and
a
half.
fun show. And some of the kids who were the other grandmas and grandpa, they still see me and say, do you remember when we were in bed together? Because
Now, that's
isn't that a terrible thing? I don't
terrible
say
thing.
it. They say it.
yeah. I wouldn't think you'd say it.
On stage with 10, 11, 12-year-old kids.
In bed
That's
together.
how old
in
they
bed
were.
together. Yes. And here I am at that time. I was probably 72 or 3.
You're not airing this. are
Tyler
you?
played Willy Wonka, right?
And yeah, I was like, and again, for
Yes, he did.
context,
Oh my
this was Willy
Yes, he did.
Wonka.
Yes, we got, for
In
the
the
love of God, give context.
The grandparents in the house shared one bed. That is the
In
context
Willy
that
Wonka,
is
if you've
needed.
seen the
In
movie,
Willy
you
Wonka.
understand the characters.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Telling the truth.
What a thing.
Yeah, well, they think it's funny.
Oh, I bet.
When I found out that I had to do it, I couldn't even fit in the bed.
Sounds like Ricky, not fitting in bed.
Oh, yeah. From Elf. Oh, gosh.
That was a great show.
So, A Christmas Carol, though, we already kind of mentioned that a little bit. How?
Well, remember that was to be done during COVID, and so it was postponed a whole year. And that was such a great part. I really looked forward to doing that so much. And Oliver was the October show when they were doing Christmas Carol. And when I got back to town from our summer trip, Grace called me in and said, you know, these are pretty heavy shows. And she knew how hard I had to work to learn the lines and the music and stuff. And she said, are you sure that you can handle both these? Well, I was afraid that I wasn't going to get either one of them. They're such great shows. I loved them both. I said, I can do it.
Well, you had a year to learn the Christmas carol.
Well,
I mean, I'd hope so.
well, the thing of it is, for Christmas Carol, I knew I wanted to have Burnsides or sideburns. Burnside was the general. Sideburns were named after. Sorry about that. Hester just
Dropping
slid right
facts.
out.
He's dropping
I
facts
can't help it.
again.
I can't help it.
I thought your mind was slipping and you
My mind is slipping. Anyway,
Burnsides.
Wow,
when
that's awesome.
when they canceled the show, I went right home and shaved and got a haircut the next day. And then before Christmas, Grace said, we're going to probably do the show next year. So I didn't shave or get a haircut from then until Oliver. And then after Oliver, I just shaved.
Oh yeah, you had the long beard and all of it.
Yeah, and long hair. My wife kept saying to people when we'd be back east doing something, she'd say, first thing she'd say, this is my husband, he's not homeless. He's in a show.
Well, she probably looked like a saint. Oh, bless her heart for helping the homeless.
Right.
Really? Yeah. I don't know why she stayed with me. I must have.
Well, we all wonder that.
She probably likes stories.
Okay. Who invited you anyway?
Oh man. Okay. Well, Jack, I'm always happy to have you around. I don't know what
Thanks,
they're
Ricky.
talking about.
Appreciate
Yeah, no
it.
problem.
You
That's
are-
why I'm over here on
It's like,
you.
I feel like you're
yes.
usually the one making fun of Jack on this podcast. I'm just saying.
Well, it's
Wow.
nice to have a break, and that's
Everyone's
why we
throwing
have Jim
everyone
here
under the
now.
bus.
I'm just.
One other thing I want to talk about that you and I have done together is the radio play of "It's a Wonderful Life."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played George Bailey. We did we recorded with Roger Galloway the whole production of "It's a Wonderful Life," and it aired on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for like
It was on
3
this
or
year,
4 years now.
I think they did it this year. This past.
They did.
Yeah, I
They
listened
did.
to it this past year.
It was so cool, and my dad recorded on that. So for me, it's extra special to listen to that.
What a guy to work with, Dad.
Yeah, but that was an interesting experience, and gosh, I don't know how you got contacted for that. Do you remember, how did that go down?
Well, somehow I was in a play with Roger, Sound of Music,
Oh, okay.
and we got to know each other then. And he said to me, "Have you ever been on radio?" And I said, "No." He said, "You have a radio voice." Oh, thank you. That way they don't have to see me.
And a radio face, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, radio. That's a good one. So, was I God? Did I play God in that?
Wow, egotistical much.
was gonna say.
First
I
of
guess I'd
all,
throw that out.
you were Joseph. Was your name?
Oh, the angel.
The angel.
Okay. Well, close.
I mean, that's
Wow.
close to
it
God.
was. Yeah.
Have you heard my voice on radio? Of course, I was God. Wow. Sorry, I brought it up. No, but that was a fun experience. I think
was.
and just acting, especially because it's just your voice. So yeah, it's different than being on stage and doing it live.
Absolutely.
I would love to do something like that again for sure.
That would be cool.
Did you have more fun doing that or doing stage stuff? I mean, what?
Stage stuff.
Yeah.
Stage stuff. Yeah. Because for one thing, I get to meet new people. There's so many new folks coming in. And it's harder work. A lot harder work.
Yeah, because on the radio, you literally have your script in front of you.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right, Clarence,
You probably
need to
had
help
yours
George
memorized.
Bailey.
You probably had yours memorized, knowing you.
Probably.
Well, it's my favorite movie
I
of
was
all
like
time,
that.
so I did have the whole script memorized. But yeah, that was a great experience, and I love that we got to be a part of that together. You two have done a couple shows without me, which were probably super enjoyable.
It's like it's probably better that way.
Oh, my.
Well,
Which one?
my best memory of Jim is when I do a show with Jim, especially this time of year. Jim's married. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yes.
I know.
I already know what you're going to talk
I've heard
about.
about this.
Yes.
Yes.
56 years, so be careful.
56 years.
Congratulations.
So be respectful.
Yes, very. And his wife is a fantastic pumpkin pie maker.
Oh, the best.
I remember you
Well,
telling me this.
She makes just about everything, but pumpkin pie is one thing that she brought Ricky and I.
Each our own pie.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember during Elf,
It's
you
a-
guys we were doing something, I don't know, we were like going to eat after the show one night and you're like, hold on, we have pumpkin pie. And I was like, you have what?
Yeah.
Like
It's
we
now
each
a-
have our own pumpkin
It's a
pie.
tradition.
It's now a tradition. Annually we do that.
Right now, we're
Ricky.
claiming that, yes, we get
Beautiful woman is
pumpkin
a
pie
saint.
every year now.
She's literally a
Oh,
saint.
Marilyn, we love you so
man.
much.
Yeah.
So there was one show where we just had, she came by when we were in the middle of a scene. And so we got off stage and looked in the trailer and right there in our spots, we each had a pumpkin pie. It was
She
amazing.
made
It was
me take them
wonderful.
to the trailer. She said, they're on stage, take them to the trailer. Oh, my God. So I found out where you had your changing stuff. And
I remember even asking Jack, I was like, I love pumpkin pie. Can I have some? And he was like, no.
no,
He's
absolutely
like,
not.
I was like, all right, I
No
guess I won't
slice
try
can
any.
go to
It's
waste.
fine.
he's
They
not
wouldn't
gonna
share.
it with anybody.
So it says here on the list that you did Mamma Mia as well, which I didn't do, but Jack did.
Jack
What did you
did
do
it.
in that? I didn't realize you were in that.
I was the priest that married them. So I didn't come in until intermission. I didn't have to be there for.
Oh, it's a
green
good
room
feeling,
or anything.
right?
Oh, that's
Oh
nice.
yeah, watch the news and
Yeah,
That
Jack,
That was the
Take your
first show that
time.
I saw you in.
you were in that show, Jack. Who did you play? Mamma Mia. You played Bill.
Bill.
According to the list, you played Bill. Okay, so do you two enjoy working together?
absolutely.
Yeah?
We get along famously most of the time.
Most of the time.
Do you have any stories about Jack, good or bad?
I'll come up with his constant complaints about not getting the role that he had once played at the present time.
Oh, yes.
So you'll just edit this in, or you'll.
I will. Yeah, that was great. Go on.
Tell us more.
Well,
Jack, I'm sorry. You just sit there and take a beating, man.
I know.
He's like,
the first
why
time-
did I come here?
uninvited, I might add. The first time that we did Oliver, he played Bill Sykes, who was, my right-hand man and
Yes.
so on and so forth.
Well, the first time I played Oliver.
No. This is my story.
Hey, let Jim talk.
This is my story.
Then you can tell your version of it next.
He made known early on that he had played Fagin the previous time, years ago.
Ruffling your feathers,
Well, I
intimidating.
had a lot of pointers for him.
And
Well, you played it really well, Jack. There's honestly.
It was only my third show.
he said, I played Fagin last time the show was done. Oh, how cool. But,
That's not what he said.
I was told that I had to be like a nice Santa Claus. That's what Grace said to me.
Isn't Santa Claus a nice Santa Claus?
Well,
She could have just said you were.
all right. No, that's not. Excuse me. That she said you got to be a mean Santa
Oh,
Claus.
okay. Oh,
okay.
okay.
Mean Santa Claus. So you're kind of nice, but you're also mean, and that helped a lot. It really did. Mm-hmm. So I didn't bother asking Jack for any help at all.
Oh, wow. He
because
would have
kept-
sabotaged your
he kept
performance, I
repeating
think.
and repeating.
So
But
you
he
were.
kept asking me for the video.
Well, so you. So you were Bill Sykes at that time, and so you obviously that part is an angry part. So you got to at least lash out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
anger at Jim.
yeah.
Manhandled me. Are you
It was
kidding?
probably the
I
best
believe
performance
That's what
that
made-
Jack's ever given.
That's what made Sykes so good that time.
It was just pure anger.
It's all
but wait.
real.
It's like you're not supposed to backhand Fagin, bro.
But wait,
Wait, didn't you play Bill Sykes?
I did play. So
the next time, since
so
I
the next
didn't play it
time,
very well,
so the next time we did it, Jim came back and played Fagin again
because he was really good at
And
it.
then I played Bill Sykes instead of Jack.
So you
So we had to listen to
wasn't
Jack
real.
complain about that.
So then Jack came up to me talking about I have some pointers for you about Bill Sykes if you want to know.
instead of taking the hint that he kept getting replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't ask Jack for any advice.
You guys want to know what
You were
cool things to do
Sourberry.
for Sourberry?
You got the part of Sourberry.
And he did a very reputable job.
You did great.
He did.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
He
Clearly,
doesn't
you
do a
were
bad
meant
job.
to be that role and not the other ones.
People are
I
still
think
talking
so.
about Sowerby.
Are
Yeah.
they? I didn't even
Sour
remember
berry.
that character. Bill Sykes and Fagin, I knew, so I didn't.
Wow. Low blow, Jackie.
I'm just saying.
I picked the wrong day to come by.
It was not today.
You should have stayed at church, brother. Mamma Mia, did you like doing that show? You're such a classic kind of guy, and Mamma Mia is such a modern kind of vibe,
Yeah.
right?
Well, like I said,
Do you like
I
ABBA?
played the priest, which was obviously a very small part, which was fun. because-
While Jack Weldon played one of the lead roles.
Oh, yeah.
So you like bowed first, and he like bowed last.
I never.
I just want to
said
iterate that.
a negative word to him about the differentiation in our parts. But anyway,
Yeah, so I just want people to know that Jack's
Yeah, yeah.
no stranger to the limelight.
what was kind of cool, Jack's brother was getting married with the pro that they brought in to play the girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't mic'd, so their mics picked up if I spoke loud enough my lines, but then there was music or something when I was going through the pronouncing them man and wife, and I was saying all kinds of stupid stuff to them, trying to make them laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're the only ones that could hear me.
Right.
And his brother, Bill, said to me afterwards one time, "What are you trying to do up there?" And I said, "You know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make you laugh." But he kept his cool.
Well, thank God you're not that funny.
Well, you're right.
Oh, well.
There's no question about it. I'm just old.
So you were telling us earlier before we started doing this that you had some trouble hearing, and I didn't realize that, considering how well you sing along with tracks and things like that. Sometimes it's hard to hear on stage as it is, but you have a hearing issue.
Well, bless her heart, Grace always has them turn up the stage sound for me, which is very helpful. Yeah, I was 12 years old and got my eardrum blown out by a firecracker, and so I've been deaf in that ear since I was 12.
Do you wear a earpiece? I remember someone losing one of those once.
Oh, like a hearing aid or something?
Yeah, what's that?
Do you wear anything in that ear to help you hear, or is it just gone?
I bought hearing aids, but a hearing aid only amplifies the noise, the sound, but I can't distinguish the words. It's
okay,
like,
so it's just muffled.
yeah, when I got hearing aids, my good ear hears what people are saying. The bad ear hears,
All right, Charlie
it's
Brown
not
speaker.
distinguishable. So
That's what I was hearing all through Oliver.
he's just never going to let it go.
Never.
You'll never let it go.
Never let it go.
I think that having hearing issues probably makes it extremely hard to do things. I mean, even if turning up the sound stage, that has to make it extremely hard to stay on beat, on pitch, all of those different things.
Well, I'll give Grace a lot of credit and Lauren a lot of credit that they were kind and patient with me when they had no right to be, really. You know, it's not something that I had made public until this minute.
Until this podcast.
I mean, I can cut it if you want.
No, I don't care. I live with it. My dear wife has to live with it.
Maybe Grace will ease up on you now and cast you in something again. She knows you're not just a diva who wants the sound turned up.
Brother. So when, if I were to lie in bed on my good ear, I can't understand a word my wife says.
Oh, that's got to be nice. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
You know that pumpkin pie you're referring to?
Oh,
Gone,
man.
baby.
Ugh.
It
I
is
take it back.
gone. Jack,
2,
you're going to
please.
get 2. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do I
Wow.
want one now?
All right.
Can I have Ricky's?
All right. You
Yes.
can get Ricky's. Yeah.
oh man. Okay. So, what's been your favorite role to play out of all the ones you've done here?
It would be a toss-up between Fagin and Scrooge. I mean, those are such fantastic roles for someone who, without any real experience. I mean, I
Right.
really looked forward to that. And like the solo at the near the end, where Fagin sings that 5.5 minute song. I mean, that was something that I held my breath on. I knew it was coming all the time, but it was a great little song, and you can do a little, body movements that kind of adds to it. And so, but I couldn't tell you honestly which would be my best role, my favorite role.
Do you want to know what mine is?
Sure, Jack.
Sure, Jack.
Fagin. Yeah.
Gee, that's a shock.
Weird. I'm so surprised
Would
by
you
that.
have guessed he would
Never.
say that?
Not in a million years.
It's just one of my favorite ones.
Have you've seen Jim on stage?
Yeah,
is that
so
right?
I saw Jim in his most recent show in Producers.
Producers. Oh, that's right. You were in that.
That was amazing.
That was the Will Ferrell played that part in the movie. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
I bet Will Ferrell.
What?
Wait, were you
What's the
wearing
name
those
of that
shorts?
role?
You looked ridiculous in that show.
What was your name?
Tell me about that. I tried to forget everything about it.
About Producers.
So I was a Nazi. That
And
wrote
you
the
said, oh
worst-
yes, and you sang the song with the pigeons.
Yeah, the worst.
Oh my
the worst
gosh.
show ever written. I wrote it, and that's why they picked it.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I've only seen the Producers a couple times.
Well, when I tried on the wardrobe, it was leather lederhosen.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
That's the photo we'll use to promote this episode.
That
Is him
would be a
in-
good photo.
Yeah.
Yes.
with the
That's a great photo.
stupid Nazi helmet, but they were so short that I had to roll up my underdrawers. Seriously.
You were Long Johns or what?
No, but they were short.
Oh my gosh.
Did you ever wear short shorts? Did you ever go through a period of short shorts? Or was that your first time?
Like spandex?
Like I'm talking about 60s and 70s. Were you like rocking any short shorts?
Whatever the fashion was.
Short
I don't
short.
remember them being particularly.
They weren't that short. They weren't that
Sorry,
short,
sorry, I'm
apparently.
getting off
They
track.
were not as short as the leader.
I think it was 80s.
I think it was up until that. Well, they're coming back now.
It was a neat show, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Of course, Jason, he's always going to do a fabulous job.
Yes.
And other great cast members. But it was just such a different part.
Yes.
I didn't like being a Nazi.
That was ridiculous.
Well,
I had fun in Cabaret.
You were in Cabaret?
oh, were you a Nazi in Cabaret?
I think so.
Oh my gosh! You know what? It just occurred to me. You were in Sweet Charity, and we had some lines together toward the end. Mm-hmm. You were the pimp.
I was the guy that owned the bar or something.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, did I work at his place?
You were a patron of his place. So your toss up with your favorite shows are Fagin and Scrooge.
Yeah.
Have you taken any role more seriously than another?
The role with you and My Fair Lady, you betcha.
Why was that?
Well, because it was a big role with an accent, and I wanted to live up to your level of performing, and that was of great concern to me.
Wow.
It'd be like the JV team playing against a college all-star team.
Gosh, stop it. That's not true. There's so many people listening just disagreeing with you hardcore.
No. I mean, being in shows with you guys, maybe I better not say.
Maybe you better not. But a hefty role like that for your third show, I think, kind of set the groundwork for your future parts. It's the reason you can do a part like Fagin well and things like that. So
Yeah. Well,
I can't believe you still kept coming back after having to do that role.
talked to myself several times about that. Yeah.
There's something wrong with me. What's going
Well,
on? We all ask that about theater.
Oh, yeah.
You love the people in the theater, and the way everyone gels as family. You meet someone, you're in the show with them, and you're friends forever.
Yep.
Handshakes, hugs. It's and Marilyn was asking me about that, and I said, I guess the only thing I can figure out is we all experience the terror.
Yes. Well, when you go through a traumatic experience with people,
Trauma bonding.
Yeah, you're
That's
out
the-
there sometimes by yourself,
Yeah.
and there's no one to help you. And if you mess up, it's all on you. Mm-hmm. So everybody that's experienced that just sees that in their new friends.
Yeah, because it's hard to explain what it's like to be
Right.
scared on stage, I guess, is one way to put it.
All right. So our show is called The Missed Cue. Have you ever missed a cue?
I think I already told a story about the
Yes.
biggest cue a guy
I
could have
mean,
missed. I'll never forget that or live that down.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been affected by a miscue where you've been out on stage and someone didn't come out and didn't do their...
Yes. As a matter of fact, the second Oliver, one of the girls who
Was
played...
it Sykes?
No, it
Just
wasn't
let him tell
Bill
his story.
One of the little girls has been one of my little thieves, was supposed to have 2 handkerchiefs with which I would look at the monogram on them and look at the snot, really, the green
Yes.
on it, the lines and stuff. And she got out there. It was one of the young girls. And she got out there, and I looked over at her when I knew the line was coming, and she didn't have anything.
And she's probably looking at you going, I am so sorry. With that look on her face.
Well, I never chastised her or anything because I could only relate to how she must have felt.
That was her last show.
Yeah.
So when it came time for her line, she stepped forward and she said, if I had 2 handkerchiefs, and went on with her line. And so I don't remember how I covered it, but somehow I did.
I'm sure you did.
I'm not like you guys who automatically can cover up something like that. You
Well,
know?
the first scene that you and I had together in the first scene with Bill Sykes is when he gives you all the stuff he's stolen, basically. And then there's the pearl
Pearls
bit
coming out
out of the mouth, you know. And one thing I loved about working with you is you can collaborate on a joke, on a bit. You can time it out perfectly. And you're very receptive to that and say, hey, this is how the bit needs to go. So, and you have fun with it. And you're able to milk the best laugh you can out of certain bits.
And if you want to refer back to that, it was you that said, Jim, why don't you? And I did it.
I only suggested that I take the pearls out of my mouth and that as I'm placing them into his hand, he counts to 3 in his head and then delivers his line because comedy's all about timing. And so I said, if you want to try it and we'll see if we get a bigger laugh just by delaying literally 2 seconds. And we did. And
it got laughs from there on out.
a huge laugh. So, but it was really cool,
Yeah.
to feel comfortable and say, hey, because I don't feel like to me, that's not giving you a note and saying, hey, do it like this. It's like, hey, you know what?
No.
I think you and I could
Yeah.
get a laugh out of this. if
I
do
think
it
we
this
did
way.
a lot of that in My Fair Lady.
And Jack always has crazy ideas to try in shows. So he's always like, hey, can we do this?
Yeah.
I think the only one I've ever said no to with Jack was when he wanted you wanted to catch me in your arms.
Oh, yeah.
As Buddy the Elf.
But
He
we
played
sit
Walter
around
Hobbs.
and it worked better the other way.
Yeah, honestly, I was.
You caught me.
Yes, I picked you up. That's right. That's how we did it. Because your original idea, I'm like, dude, if I jump on you, I'm going to.
You'll be on the floor.
Yeah. So, but no, that's why I love working with Jack too, is because he does have all these crazy ideas and so outlandish, and it's like, but they end up looking so cool.
But
Good answer.
Jack seemed to get rougher and rougher with me. And
Well,
I
that's
thought,
because
I
you
was
had his
It
part.
was
Am I-
resentment.
doing something wrong. And then it dawned on me, yeah, he has a chance to get back for not being Fagin.
You know what I
Thank
will
you
say
very
about
much.
him playing Fagin is when I played Fagin, I was 30 years old. And it was a tough part. I mean, it was exhausting. And you did it at almost twice the age that I was.
More than
You were like 55 when you did it, right?
no.
I feel like the title of this episode is going to be Jim Lusk, the real Fagin.
Wow. That's already been said.
I just want to put it out there.
I don't think
Jack's like, please don't name the episode that. Jack's gonna go home and cry.
As long as Jack can be on titled Jack Weldon, the real Bill Sykes.
The real sour berry.
Oh god.
You're being a real sour berry.
Right?
What's the next step down from?
That's what I'm
Fagin,
saying.
Bill Sykes?
He's going to be
Probably
one of the
not gonna-
pickpockets.
There.
The oldest pickpocket.
He
Charlie.
He stands on the corner and just waits for him to stop by him so he doesn't have to move.
Right? He's like the lazy pickpocket. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or he steals the stuff from the kids that have already stolen it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
We're having fun.
Well, I just hope I want the chance to be on stage with you. So you're gonna have to do something else.
Oh man. So have you ever seen any like professional productions, any Broadway shows?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to several Broadway shows.
Before you got involved in theater yourself, or
Before and after. Yeah.
or do you have any particular favorite show that you've seen?
Well, we saw the Disney Lion King.
Oh, okay.
That may have been the last one I saw, come to think of it. Big River, I think.
That's a good show.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Those are the two I remember offhand. I've been to others, but those are the only two I can remember.
Or what shows do you want to see done at Grace Arts?
Oh my gosh. I'm just a peon. I don't have opinions. Whatever
Grace
people
picks.
like you or Grace or Lauren or Jason.
People like me have no say
Maybe-
in what shows get
Maybe
picked.
she'll do Oliver again.
Yeah, you can do Fagin a third time, so Jack can be a pickpocket.
That's right.
Jack will be the guy with the boogery hanger jib. Oh, that's terrible.
awesome.
Oh my god.
Jack, I owe you dinner.
Well, it was all, Jake, my grandson, played Oliver the first time. So
Okay.
that was really, and Mackenzie was.
So that's why you got the part. It was sentimental. Sorry,
No,
Jack.
he played
that
it
you
the
had to
second
suffer.
time, actually.
What?
He played it the second time, right?
Jake?
Yeah, I don't think
No, he was the first time. It was
The first time he did it.
Chris's son. Chris's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did the Ian the second time.
Okay. I was the third time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, okay.
So have you had the opportunity, I mean, obviously with Oliver, with Jake, but have you had the opportunity to be on stage with all of them, all of your family? Julie and like all of them at the same time?
Yeah, not in the same
Not
show.
in the same show, but you
Yeah,
have been with
yeah,
all of them.
because Julie was in a couple shows,
Sweet Charity,
dancing.
for sure.
Yeah,
Jake, obviously Oliver.
and Jake and Mackenzie were both in a lot of shows. I think Jake's done like 35 or so.
That's cool. Yeah, and we've touched base on this show quite a bit about people joining theater and doing shows just to bond with their kids and have times like that.
Well, it's a great memory to have.
yeah.
To have that time with them on stage instead of just being an audience member watching.
Right.
You get to see behind the scenes of what really goes into the shows, especially for someone like Jake, who's done so many, all of the time that he's put in.
Well, he obviously helped me a lot. He gave me a lot of hints of what I was getting into. You know, how crowded it is backstage and the wings and all that. You know, be ready for anything. Stay out of the way when they're moving props.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, yeah.
Jim, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for coming
thank
on.
you. Thank
Sorry that Jack crashed. your
Hey, sorry to
episode.
interrupt the whole.
I loved it.
I mean,
You can edit whatever he's going to say out. Right?
I should edit everything he
Everything.
said out.
It's going to be the shortest episode yet.
And you're going to look crazy because you're just talking to nobody.
oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you so much. It's been an honor to talk to you.
My pleasure, and it's been an honor to be in shows with guys with talent like you two have. I'm very sincere, and I'm not sincere very often, but I am when I say that. You guys really, really helped me in so many situations, and I enjoy being your friends for life.
Well, it's always been a pleasure doing shows with you.
Thank you.
Always.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the pumpkin pie. And if
Yes.
I'm still getting some. So.
No, you're
wanna
not. I'm getting yours. You're not.
Oh,
getting
that's
me.
right. That's right. Okay. Well, anyway, thanks again. And until next time, remember, there is no excuse for a missed or late cue. And just like that, we're at the end of another fun-filled episode of The Missed Cue. We hope you loved the conversation as much as we did. Feel free to share your thoughts, ask questions, or simply say hi. We can't wait to hear from you.
Don't forget, you can always catch up on previous episodes and keep up with us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. and we'd love for you to be a part of the Missed Q community.
A big thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. Your support means the world to us. We'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, rate, and leave us a review.
Until we meet again, remember there's no excuse for a missed or late cue.